Can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sink 3-pointers, money shots, all net, all vets. Bums we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept the storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields and interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube and fade to black, yeah, the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual, Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree. In the wilderness of North Mex, and we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson. The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers, fabric softener. Jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch stores type. For that soft white, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like Porsche lights. The meek shall inherit the earth, oh yeah, the scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls, niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft, yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft, and then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descendant of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom. Blast.
Crumb TV.
Can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sink 3-pointers, money shots, all net, all vets. Bums we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept the storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields and interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube and fade to black, yeah, the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual, Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree. In the wilderness of North Mex, and we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson. The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers, fabric softener. Jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch stores type. For that soft white, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like Porsche lights.
The meek shall inherit the earth. Oh yeah, that's scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls. Niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft. Yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft. And then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descendant of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom. Best.
Crumb TV.
Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Welcome to an episode of Third Eye Fridays. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for this evening, Brother Red Pillar. And that song that you just heard right there, that, ladies and gentlemen, that is Theta Waves, featuring the twin pillars, Red and Blue Pill, soon to be for sale. Working on clearances, you know. This is a beat that has to be cleared. But yeah, we on the way. We on the way, and you will be the first ones that will be able to have that in your collection. And I say your collection because once again, we want you to have that song. We don't want you to stream that song and you don't own it. That's not music. That's not ownership. We want you to have that. We want you to own that. It's gonna have a cover. It's gonna have maybe 3 versions of the video of, you know, it's gonna be a package. You know what I'm talking about? And it may even be a token. So we want you to own equity in a song like that you know it's a classic, and it's a song that doesn't have, it has replay value. It gets better every time you hear it. It got Easter eggs in it, and it has a lot of potential. So that's just one of the many songs that we've played for you that we actually want you to own, and we actually want you to benefit from. You know, I'm not, like I've said before, I'm not intoxicated with the idea of being on Spotify and having a streamer of the year type of thing. That doesn't do anything for me. I would rather sit that one out, sell CDs, sell vinyl, sell cassettes, sell merch. You know, sell a video. You know how they have albums that are animated or albums that are visual. I'd rather sell a visual album before I go ahead and put my damn music on Spotify, on a DSP, a digital streaming platform, and get 0.000. I won't even get a goddamn a Shibu coin. You know what I'm talking about? You can't even get a Dogecoin, the equivalent of that for your damn man. You man. I wish I would. But how's everybody doing on this Good Friday? You dig? I said, how's everybody doing on this Friday? TGIF, hallelujah. You know what I'm talking about? We had a very, very, very powerful program last night, ladies and gents. You may not be aware of it, but the other channel, Know the Ledger, is right now. It's on ice right now. It's on ice. It's in ice custody. You know what I'm talking about? But we are here on Know the Ledge Media. We are here on Facebook. We are even on Twitch right now. Shout out to everybody in the building and whatnot. The show that I'm talking about is Third Eye Thursdays, the episode from last night. Okay, that right there, ladies and gentlemen. I've been getting text messages and emails all day about angelic alchemy. The show is titled Angelic Alchemy. Okay, we had that yesterday. All right, that one right there featuring
our good sister Ariel, and our other good sister Yana in the building. Okay, so I want y'all to make sure that y'all check that out if y'all have not checked that out. Sister Amani, Sister Ariel, okay, Angelic Art, Angelic Alchemy, and we will let you know when we are going to have a follow-up conversation. Definitely a part 2 is on the way, because there were things that there were even questions that I thought of immediately after the show ended. I was like, oh man, about 5 of them came to me. So yeah, we're gonna go. Yeah. The Queens definitely went in. We are definitely going to go back in, down that rabbit hole. So yes. All right. I got some news that we're gonna be sharing today. There's a lot of clips. It's just been, it was so much news. There was like, actually the plan was to do the I was gonna do the news after we had the build yesterday. That was my initial plans. But the information was so pristine, I was like, I don't want to mix the two up. You feel me? I want this as a standalone. I want this episode to be a standalone. I don't want anything else, no cut. You know what I mean? Nothing else. Leave this by itself. It's a standalone. So I was like, I'll just do this. I'll do the news on Friday. So here we are. I have a Imaginarium class number 14 coming up. So I won't be here for that long. Okay. I will not be here that long because I do have obligations with my students. All right, with my KT aliens. Shout out to all of my KT aliens and Imaginarium. We finna go crazy tonight. You done know. You already know. We got a date. I think we got a premiere. I'm gonna pull that off before we get out of here. But yeah, let us go to the roll call and then let's get right into it. Like I said, I'm in and I'm out. We're gonna have this real talk and then I'm out of here. All right. We have Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. We got South Side of Houston, H-Town in the building. Dallas in the building. The BX is in the building. Atlantis is in the building. DC proper is in the building. North, Las Vegas in the building. Greenville in the building. SC in the building. Kenya in the building. Albuquerque in the building. Texas in the building. DMV in the building. We got Detroit up in this thing. Detroit up. What up, though? Detroit in the building. PGC up in this biatch. Seattle up in this biatch. Sanford. Brooknom. Brett. All right. Brooknom. Memphis. Shout out to Memphis. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to the Memphis gang. BK in the building. Newark in the building. Salute to Newark. All right. We got Cleveland checking in. Shout out to Cleveland on the check-in. Chicago, of course. It's Chicago, ninja. Shout out to the Shy. You dig? Okay, more Chicago. Okay. We see you. Chicago pulling up. I see you, Chi-Town. Salute to the nigga belt to ass. I tell you, boy. What we talking about? Boys going crazy in the garden. NC in the building. We got Louisville in the building. All right, Sanford. We got Sanford. Salute to Sanford. Florida in the building. All right. Florida, we got some good news that we're going to share with y'all today. Salute to Florida. Brooklyn up in this thing. Of course, Utica. You know I'm talking about? Play this in a dollar cab. Osceola County. Yeah, you know that's Indian land. Osceola. Maryland. Shout out to Maryland. Harlem. Huh? I like that new artist, Fergie Baby. He got, yeah, I like Fergie Baby from Harlem. I like his energy. Shout out to Harlem. Harlem is lit. Birmingham Veg. We don't call it Birmingham. We call it Birmingham Veg. Peace to Ohio. Jersey City. All right. Middletown, Ohio. Salute. Yeah. So yeah. Let's get right into it. Yeah. You know we got to talk about our girl. Should we get into Erica or let that shit warm up? Should we get right into Erica or should we let it warm up? Nah, I'm gonna let the Erica. I got Erica in the pot right there. I'm gonna let that simmer. We're gonna turn the heat up on Erica in a minute. Yeah, we can't start it out with Erica. That's like, you know what I mean? That you gotta at least walk yourself into that shit. You know what I'm saying? We just can't start out with America, Kirk. You gotta walk yourself into that. So let's just start with something else.
Assassinate the president dressed like Green Day circa 2004. This photo is insane. Today, these photos of the person who did the thing at the White House Correspondents' Dinner dropped, and I like how in the paperwork, they've got these red circles around everything. Like, look, we've conveniently placed circles around all the weapons he used to commit the crime. But what I cannot get past, and these legal documents reiterate it, is that this man basically hit high knees like he was at track practice and ran right past security at an event with the president. Now, I'm not a Secret Service agent, but I don't know. Like, maybe some of y'all were onto something when you said they do not care about the president, because did y'all try, I don't know, securing the event? And let's not forget about the manifesto, because if this is true, they basically have messages from this man where he's like, yeah, I don't know, this event is wide open. I can't believe it's this easy. I'm pretty much already in here with multiple weapons and nobody did anything. I mean, the whole thing is just weird, because when the attorney general was talking about it, he said he believed the suspect fired his weapon because a spent shotgun shell was found inside the chamber, but he noted that more forensic examination would need to be done to determine exactly what happened. What do you mean you believe? Did he fire a shot or not? So people were really honing in on that, debating whether he actually fired the shotgun. But today, the documentation dropped from the government, and they said that he did fire a shot into the stairwell. Remember, he is on the floor above where the White House Correspondents' Dinner is happening, and Secret Service actually fired back 5 times, but he was never struck. In fact, the only injury that he has, according to this, is on his knee. And while all of this is happening, people at the dinner took it as an opportunity to steal wine. They were like, dang, what's happening up there is crazy with that dude running in, right? Anyway, are y'all gonna be using the cabinet, or like, what's going on with that?
So my dude yo, is this a video game that we watching, B? My dude did not get shot. They need him for the next Matrix, B. He did not get shot, and he's dressed like Green Day, and they had to get him up out of this.
Correspondent dinner, and let me tell you, this makes the case very interesting, because people, did y'all frag yourself? Did the Secret Service frag itself? Because one thing that is very clear, the muzzle flashes shown, don't ever show one from Cole Allen. So now one must ask, did he ever even take a shot? Or is he just Naruto running, moving, grooving, vibing, sliding with the tool on him? Because you see, muzzle flash 1, muzzle flash 2, muzzle flash 3, muzzle flash 4. Specifically, I want you to look at muzzle flash 2. Now that looks like, I don't mean to laugh, but like, you shot your whole homie. Like 100%. There's 5 individuals. He's already by the shot. So I think you hit one of these people with the cut like peroxide. And if this goes down as a self-frag, Now the Secret Service is looked at as even more incompetent than they ever have been. And what happens in the case of like, wait, he never took a shot? Can you get somebody on intent? And then I go watch the video back and I'm like, oh, nah, these niggas fragged themselves. You know, Detective Al's on a case, so I want you to watch this with me this time. But instead of focusing on Cole doing a Naruto run, focus on the back right here and then focus right here. Now, boop, shot. Look at that. They try to get this person up and he's like, yo, I'm helping you up. But like, nah, you just self-frag. He shot Buddy in the chest. Cole Allen was unharmed, no bruise, no nothing. Now, if he never even took a shot, this makes things very interesting. Now, again, that person goes down instantly like they had just got shot in the chest. Self-frag is fucking insane, bro. This ain't funny, but this is fucking hilarious.
He's charged with violating 924C, discharge of a firearm during a crime of violence. So by definition, that charge means that it was discharged.
Now it makes a lot more sense why you look so confused during that exchange, because you know, and now we know, there's 4 shots right here already. That means there's 1 shot left, and you guys already confirmed there was 5 total. So you're telling me he went by all of this. Cole here decides to take 1 more shot with shotgun, I might add, and then is met with no type of crossfire or return fire, and then just miraculously gives himself up, met with no physical abuse or harm towards him. It's getting very iniquitous.
This is the gun that he discharged, and as those of us that have ever shot one of these know, what happens when you shoot that is the casing stays inside the firearm, and then if you reload it, it pops it out. My understanding is that it was inside the firearm.
Well, looks like you guys got yourself in quite the predicament, because now you're telling me again, these 4 shots rang out, and then he ran and just shot the shotgun randomly, and then after that, it was all over. Like, come on, son. Does that make sense to you? Come on, dickhead. I'm young, but I was not born yesterday.
News that is indeed breaking. I'm not sure if you guys are paying attention to the racial gerrymandering that's happening in Louisiana, and that's like threatening to happen right now in several other states. But despite there being a Supreme Court ruling stating that racial gerrymandering, which is basically like another form of like redlining, manipulating the districts, rezoning them and reshaping them. I'm sure a lot of you guys have wondered, like, why does the feeder pattern start here? Why does the district start here and then here? That's so weird. It's weird. It's gerrymandering. Basically, gerrymandering is basically cramming a bunch of people into one particular area based off of like race, so that the people that are in power can manipulate the maps so that when we vote, there is an expectation of the vote going in their favor. Stick with me. They may link a bunch of Black people into one particular group, and then that's called a minority community. And then there's another community where there's, not as many, but some Black people in there. And they are also the minority, and their votes hold a lesser amount than the previous group. They're basically manipulating different ways to redistrict and basically reformulate the maps so that the candidates or the ones that are in the vicinity of the district will have the upper hand and the favor in the eyes of the voters, basically. Long story short, they know that the voters themselves are not going to, more than likely in the district, not going to vote for them. So they're remapping and rezoning things. I took the liberty of looking it up just to confirm what I was hearing, especially about what happened in those 2 minority districts in Louisiana. And then I'm seeing today the representative from the state of Florida had to disrupt the floor because they tried to pull a fast one and do another situation where they were racially gerrymandering in order to ensure that the Republican seat turned out in their favor in specific districts. So I looked up some of the manipulation tactics that they'll try. And it's on Google if you need to, but the ones that stand out the most to me is malapportionment, which deliberately creating districts with unequal populations, which is what we just talked about, so that the votes in one district carry more weight than another. Then we have kidnapping, which is redrawing the lines. So an incumbent representative's home is suddenly in a different district, which will make their re-election process more difficult. Then we have packing, which is concentrating a group of voters into one single district to reduce their influence in all other surrounding districts. Then we have cracking, which is spreading voters of a particular group across many districts to deny them a majority in any single one. So there are several ways that they are trying to manipulate the situation, in particular in Florida, Tennessee, and Mississippi, especially due to what just happened yesterday with the Voting Rights Act being pretty much kind of like gutted and struck down in Louisiana. It's legit racial gerrymandering. Like there's no other way that you can put it. And then we have partisan gerrymandering, which is at a state level. So we have the racial gerrymandering, which under the Voting Rights Act and the 14th Amendment, maps are illegal if they deliberately dilute the voting power of racial or ethnic minority groups. But that we know for a fact how these people operate, and that they're going to try and find any way that they can. Okay? They're going to try and find any way they can to get the upper hand. And then we have partisan gerrymandering, the state level version, which if you look at the U.S. Supreme Court ruling 2019, Ruto versus Common Cause, that federal courts cannot block maps drawn for purely political advantage. Some states explicitly ban this practice in their own constitutions, like New York, North Carolina, and Florida, which contains the Fair Districts Amendments that prohibits drawing maps to favor a political party or incumbent, which is why you saw the Florida representative blowing her bullhorn on the floor and making it clear, like, this is not okay. This is partisan gerrymandering. Y'all got us effed up. So right now, Louisiana, they're asking for those two districts that were impacted the most to not give up. They're asking for y'all to keep fighting back, because this November is y'all time to shine. With everything y'all got, y'all need to show up for real. Like, really get out there and vote in grandeur. Show them that they can do whatever they can try and do whatever they want to do, but y'all gonna show up and make sure y'all show out for your districts. Because the way that they are trying to find any way that they can to tear down these minority communities and to shift the way that things operate is like they're literally playing Monopoly and chess at the same time, but with your livelihood, with your cost of living, with just being a black person or a minority in general in the state of Louisiana. So I don't know. It's a lot that they're trying to do right now. But we knew that when that man got into office, it would be the fight of our lives for them to get out of those seats. We knew that. And I have a strong feeling that it's not going to stop anytime soon. If anything, they are going to be attacking so many minority districts.
2026, the Supreme Court drove a stake through the heart of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Now, let me tell you what that means, because what they are counting on is you not knowing. So in 1965, black people did not just ask for the right to vote, they bled for it. Selma, the Edmund Pettus Bridge, Bloody Sunday, John Lewis's skull was cracked open on the concrete. Fannie Hamer was beaten in a Mississippi jail for trying to register people to vote. Medgar Evers was assassinated in his own driveway. People gave their lives so that our vote would not just cast, but that it would also count. And so when Lyndon Johnson signed the Voting Rights Act that same year, it was a legal shield that protected black political power from being engineered away. Now, let me explain exactly how they do it, because this is where people get lost. They don't take your ballot. What they do is they take the map. Every 10 years, after the census states redraw their congressional district, they decide which neighborhoods go into which district, and that decision determines who your representative will be. Now, in a fair system, if black voters make up 40% of the state, then they should have real influence in roughly 40% of the districts. They should be able to elect people who actually represent them. There are two tricks that they use to make sure that never happens. The first one is called packing. They take as many black voters as possible and they stuff them all into one single district. And that district gets one black representative, and every district surrounding it becomes majority white. So instead of black voters having influence in 4 or 5 races, they have only influence in one. The second trick is called cracking. They take black neighborhoods and they slice them apart like pie. They spread these voters across 5 or 6 different districts where black people are always the minority. So their ballots get cast and swallowed. They never have enough concentrated power to elect anyone who represents their interests. So what do? First, we don't stop voting. Don't let them win twice. We vote in every election. Federal, state, local, school boards, judges, district attorneys. Those local elections shape your daily life more than any presidential election. They can redraw the lines. They cannot redraw our power. Look at Asians. They have the lowest voter turnout of any group in this country, and yet they're among the most economically insulated because they practice collective economics. They buy from each other, they build with each other, they bank with each other, they protect each other with their dollars. So, we need to support Black-owned businesses, open accounts at Black banks, invest in Black real estate, build Black wealth intentionally and unapologetically, because when they silence our votes, our economics must speak louder than our ballots ever could. This is Project 2025 in full effect. They told us exactly what they're going to do. Dismantle the protections, redraw the power, silence the communities that threaten their control. That's why they burned Tulsa. That's why they destroyed Rosewood. And every time we build something powerful, they find a way to tear it down. But we have the blueprint to make sure that never happens again. So let's work. Now drop a Black fist in the comments and share this with someone who needs.
Drop a Black fist, y'all. And people is up to their same old tricks. I tell you, they up to their same old tricks. But yeah.
Why can't we?
Before we get sent back to war, I just gotta know.
You know, people can't be distracted. You know what I'm saying? People can. It's dangerous to be distracted right now.
Court outright just gutted the rights of Black people in America to have representation, particularly in the South. And with this decision, I'm reminded that the single most destructive man in America in my lifetime has been Chief Justice John Roberts. I'll tell you why. You know, people say they fear Donald Trump. I personally don't fear Donald Trump for the same reasons that I've always feared John Roberts. John Roberts is everything that Donald Trump isn't. He's smart. He's disciplined. He's savvy. He's strategic. He thinks years in advance and sticks to what he wants to do. Nominated as Supreme Court Justice by George W. Bush in 2005. Ever since then, he has been incredibly savvy, and inch by inch, like a chess player, has worked to turn America back in time, back to a dark time when there were no rights for women, no rights for people of color, where corporations could do whatever they want and billionaires controlled everything. He's turned back the clock to the Gilded Age. What does this latest voting rights decision mean? It means that in red states where Blacks have 35% of the population, they're going to get zero representation because their districts are going to be constitutionally eliminated. And that's exactly what's going to happen in places like Louisiana, South Carolina, Alabama. You're going to see districts currently held by Black Democrats eliminated from existence through gerrymandering. And people who say, well, Black Republicans can take control of those districts. No, I mean, the reality is that as of 2027, the next term in Congress, there will be exactly 0 Black Republicans in Congress. It's a white person's party. Roberts' argument is that, racism isn't what it once was. Has he ever lived in the South? I lived in the South for a dozen years. I know damn well how pervasive racism still is in the South and throughout America. How do you perpetuate racism in America? By pretending it doesn't exist. That's what John Roberts does. How do you perpetuate misogyny in America? By pretending it doesn't exist. That's what John Roberts does. How do you pretend that workers are not exploited in America? By pretending that exploitation doesn't exist. That's what John Roberts does. How do you pretend that billionaires don't corrupt elections? By pretending that money isn't a corrupting force. That's what John Roberts does. I've always feared John Roberts for a reason. Destructive man. You want to counter him? You got to back the court.
Lapses every 250 years. And guess how old we are this year? There was a guy who wrote a book. It's called The Fate of Empires. And he has studied the Assyrians, the Persians, British Empire. All empires go through the exact same stages. Stage 1, the age of conquest, lean and hungry and disciplined. And this is where we expand militarily and we have economic superiority. There's no corruption because there's no wealth to corrupt. This happened in the U.S. between 1776 and World War II. America was genuinely the most powerful civilization in human history. Stage 2, age of commerce, both the most powerful and the most prosperous society on earth. This happened in the 1950s and the 1960s. Factory workers could afford houses, cars, vacations, college for their children, and this was all on one salary. And this is where things start to go wrong. Stage 3 is called the age of affluence. This is where wealth creates comfort. Comfort creates complacency. We've always been dominant, so we'll always be dominant. That's why the men fat, low testosterone, the women doing all masculine shit. That's the hottest country on the planet. After World War II, America kept the war machine going. Wages haven't rose in 50 years. Stage 4 is the age of decadence. First, the military spending becomes completely divorced from military results. The Pentagon has failed their audit 8 years in a row. Second thing in stage 4 is the debt becomes existential because we're spending $1 trillion on our interest of our debt. And then the only exits are default and inflation. Both of those destroy the currency. The fourth thing that happens in stage 4 is that the social fabric breaks down from within. Life expectancy declining and minus birth rate. Loneliness epidemic. Drug addiction. 1% not only own more than the bottom 90% combined. Elections offer candidates that nobody really likes. The same money that we're sending over to fight this war in Iran, we could be ending homelessness, especially for veterans. So the things that actually could make us happy and make the society better are the things we are not doing. This is exactly how Rome fell. Why don't people fix these problems? Prisoner's dilemma at civilizational scale. Defense contractors need wars. Banks need dollar dominance. Every decision is rational. The collective result is destruction. At the detriment of society, no empire has ever escaped stage 4. Stage 5 is the collapse. Once the currency falls, 3 things happen at once. You get a currency crisis, you get a loss of allies, and then you get internal political rupture. We're in deep stage 4 territory. When you have mediocrity in charge, this is what happens. What a time!
But I'm sick and tired of being manipulated. A man wrote down the Third World War in 1871, literally word for word. And we are walking through it right now. His name's Albert Pike, the sovereign grand commander of the Scottish Rite Freemason. He sent a letter to Mazzini and laid out 3 world wars in order before any of them ever happened. War number 1, overthrow the czars, replace it with an atheistic communism. War number 2, use fascism and Zionism against each other, destroy Nazism, establish the state of Israel, and that happened in 1948. And War 3, in his words, stir conflict between political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world until they mutually destroy each other. Then go drag every other nation into physical, moral, spiritual, and economic exhaustion. And that's happening right now. October 7th, Gaza, Lebanon, Iran, trading missiles with Tel Aviv, Syria collapse, Russia and NATO bleeding through Ukraine. It's crazy. And then China's just circling Taiwan. Every nation on earth is picking a side on the Israel and Islamic axis, right on schedule. And we are fully being manipulated. And there's a little bit more proof. The word Nazism did not even exist in 1871. The word Zionism did not exist in 1871. Herzl did not publish The Jewish State until 1896. Fascism was not coined until 1920. Pike named all of it before any of it ever had a name. And he was not a prophet. He was just middle management executing. So now this Israel versus Islam war that you're watching right now, it's a script drafted in 1871, performed in 2026. And you, me, the audience, every war you cried over, every president you fought your family about, every side that you picked, already written, already cast, already paid for, and we are literally puppets being manipulated. No matter which side wins, doesn't matter for them. The think tanks that write both party platforms and the men who put their plans on paper and counted on you to be too tired to read them. And it worked for 155 years. And here's the reality, it's not working anymore because you can see it now. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. So here's what you do. Stop voting for the savior they handed you. No man in a suit is coming to save you. Yeshua already told you this. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Stop hating the person they told you to hate. Your enemy is not the Muslim, the Jew, not the Russian, not the Hispanic, not the black guy. Your enemy is the man who profits when you fight your brother. So stop outsourcing your power to presidents, pastors. Every time you hand your sovereignty to a man, you are voting for the script to continue. You are the creator of your own life. The blueprint is always published. The script is in our hands right now. And we are going to write a different one if we choose to. Thank you. And I love you.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I mean, I really want people to think about what that man just said. That somebody literally wrote in a book about things that were to come to pass, right? And the things that he was writing about in that book did not exist when he was writing about it in that book. And then these things have come to pass. So when you really think about it, when you really, really think about what and who Pike is, you know, if you want to talk about conspiracy theories or if you get into any type of study, you know, you got to know who Pike is. You know what I'm saying? But just really understand that this shit is a script. That's why I've said on so many, you know, that's why when we were talking about the World Wrestling Federation, and I was like, look, if you could look at wrestling and understand how Vince McMahon actually scripted a whole universe in front of our very eyes and whatnot, and you know, this whole thing is fake, along with organized sports, along with, you know, NFL and all of this other stuff. All of these things have been revealed to us. You know, when you look at the theater of war, right? When you realize it's called the theater of war, understand that it's the same scenario of what Vince McMahon has done with wrestling, right? How he came in there and how did he pick wrestling up? How did he turn wrestling into a multi-billion-dollar behemoth, right? He utilized scripts, he utilized theater, he utilized quote unquote actors. He made it a stage. Same thing that's going on in these governments, and even bigger than that, the same things that are going on the global stage. I mean, shit, bigger than that, the same things that are going on in all of reality. The entire reality is a script. Okay, assimilation, might I add, it's all a script. So it's scripts upon scripts upon scripts upon scripts. You know what I mean? So shout out to the script that says that 2026 is the fire horse year, or the year of the fire horse. And this is the year of fire, right? Purification through fire.
So the current fires in Georgia right now that are bigger than LA ever had, they're in locations that allegedly were going to have data centers and landfills. Here you go. Here's a map of the proposed data centers across Georgia, similar to where the fires are. Is it just coincidence? Just a correlation? And there's been mounting opposition against these data centers in Georgia. Listen, as somebody who had to evacuate my home during the LA fires, as Angelinos, we remember how the fires kept spreading, just like how they're continuing to spread in Georgia, doubling in size. Mandatory evacuations. It's the most destructive wildfire in Georgia's history, and already 122 homes have been destroyed. Now, it is so terrifying. I mean, look at this. There's proof right here that in Appling, Georgia, they were fighting against 3 data centers that were developing. But of course, they're going to report that these large wildfires have been compounded by historic drought conditions. To think that you can lose your home, and there are some corrupt ass politicians out there who deny any kind of alleged conspiracy or other correlation. My heart goes out to anyone who lives near these fires, who even feel like they might be coming toward you. My prayers are with you. I'm so sorry. I feel so bad for Georgia. I remember it. I can relate because of what we went through. Thank God our house didn't burn down, but I just remember bawling my eyes out one morning when we had to evacuate. And if this happens and is happening and continues to happen, my love and prayers are with you guys. It feels like similar battles are just going to keep continuing to happen across the country.
Jim Jones actually an undercover white supremacist? If you had asked me this,
I want to get into this conversation right here. This video is very interesting. Before we even get into the Jim Jones story, let's go down this rabbit hole. Before we even touch on the Jim Jones thing, let's go down this rabbit hole.
What do you know about this man?
tell me, what do you know about this man? Clem Davies. Specifically, what do you know about his ties to the Kardashian family? Well, Clem Davies here was a Welsh-born preacher who made his money and his start in Canada as a super racist fan of the KKK. That's right, in 1920s Canada, he was running church sermons like this one, in which he was encouraging his followers to join with the KKK. And old Clem here, he loved the KKK. He loved the KKK so much that he actually threatened the Canadian government with it. But he went even further than that. In the 1920s, Clem became the president of the Asiatic Exclusion League. Now, the goal and purpose of the Asiatic Exclusion League was very simple. Keep anyone from Asian countries out of Canada and harass the ones who did make it. This is a photograph from the riots, the anti-Asian riots of 1920s in Canada, which Clem Davies supported and encouraged. Now, here's where the Kardashians come into things. You see, after more than 2 decades of Clem Davies making a name for himself as one of the most vocal supporters of the KKK and one of the first champions of British Israelism, which is now Zionism, Tom Kardashian, who is Kim Kardashian's great-grandfather, said, "Hey, you know what, Clem Davies, you super racist? I'm going to pay for you to go on tour all the way across America for multiple years." And you really have to wonder, why would an Armenian family who had fled genocide throw their money behind someone who wanted to genocide a bunch of other people? And isn't it funny that Kim Kardashian, who's now all lives matter, let's open a bunch of stores in Israel, isn't it funny that her great-grandfather and her grandfather both financially funded and supported British Israelism in the 40s? Isn't it interesting? This is always where the Kardashians have been. And if you want to know exactly who the Kardashians are, this is where you need to start. Look into their religious ties to the Healing Revival. Pretty interesting.
So when they say that everybody is on the stage and all of these people are literally like industry plants and this whole shit is planned.
So tell me.
This is what they mean. Like these things go back bloodline.
Clem.
Right? Bloodlines. And they keep this quote unquote, they keep it going through clans and they keep it going through commitments and contracts. And you know, they put these people in front of these cameras and you think that they just come out of nowhere, but nah, they've always been here, a part of this script, a part of this experiment, you know, things that Albert Pike wrote about, shit like that.
A few months ago, I would have said no. Was Jim Jones actually an undercover white supremacist? If you had asked me this question a few months ago, I would have said no, because as most people know, if you know anything about the People's Temple, when Jim Jones started People's Temple, it was all about equality, specifically about addressing the injustices that were being heaved onto the Black community in America. He would provide food, shelter, welcomed them with open arms, right? Seemed like a totally equal kind of guy. But now that I know that Jim Jones got his start preaching with a whole sect of super racist preacher, and that Jim Jones himself preached latter rain, I'm starting to see everything differently. Okay? Because all of these preachers Jones was rubbing elbows with, supremacists. And latter rain culture itself is white supremacy. It is. White people are going to inherit the earth in Israel. And knowing that, it's got me looking at everything Jim Jones did differently. Like when he tried to steal the church of this black man, Father Divine. You guys remember that? Jim Jones tried to put himself, a white man, at the head of this man's church. And then there's this really telling statement from one of Jim Jones' own members. Wanelle Smart, a black woman who was married to a white temple member, once asked Jones, "Why do you only sleep with whites and never with blacks?" He apparently responded by explaining that white people needed more attention. So when you look at that, and you look at this, and then you look at the preachers whose message Jones decided to adopt and preach to his followers, and then you see what he did to hundreds of black people, how hundreds of black people ended up in his care, it really makes you start to wonder, did Jones actually care about the plight of black people in America? Or, after hanging out with a bunch of racist KKK sympathizers, did he decide that they were just going to be his easiest mark? Whatever his beliefs were, the supremacist sure loved the ending he gave.
So you have these preachers, right, even today, but definitely back then, who were locked in, right, with these quote unquote secret societies, and they were being planted in our communities, preaching the gospel, right? Look at what they went over to Africa and did with the missionaries and the NGOs, and look at what happened in the South, and look at what the gospel did in Africa with the prosperity gospel. Look at what it did in places like Haiti and whatnot. These Roman Catholics and their quote unquote propaganda, right? So we see how it has affected our people. You know, we see how it's affecting the people.
I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of being manipulated. A man wrote down the Third World War in 1871, literally word for word. But I'm sick and tired of being manipulated. A man wrote down the Third World War in 1871, literally word for word. I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of being manipulated. A man wrote.
CERN supposedly.
Let's go into another video.
Here's a quick update to the video I did on
A dramatic reading of Todd Blanche's.
Let me pull something. Let me see.
The colonial period, people of color could.
So the other day I posted a video about people traveling to impoverished countries and areas to exploit people. This includes
All right, let me remove this.
posted a video about people traveling to impoverished countries and areas to exploit people. This includes children, young men and women, adults, all of it. It is predatory. When you prey on people because they're impoverished and you're using them because you know that they're desperate for money, that is predatory behavior. A lot of people are arguing with me down below in the comments. So I wanted to show a few clips from a documentary that I discovered, and this first clip is of a now adult man talking about what happened when he was 12.
Do you remember the first time a tourist said they wanted to have?
When I 12 years old, I see a nice guy. He talked to me to practice, to buy food, to buy clothes.
Did it mess with your head at all?
I don't feel good.
And this next clip may ruffle a few feathers, but this is actually a man who travels for these reasons, trying to justify it similar to the way that a lot of you were trying to justify it in the comments.
It's a poor country.
Yeah.
People need to eat. You understand that?
But that's exploiting them, isn't it?
No. The tourists bring the chica to lunch to have a good meal. They're happy.
People are not traveling with good intentions, and if you think that everyone they're traveling for is over 18 or they met them when they turned 18, that's a lie that you're trying to sell yourself. Someone probably needs to check your hard drive.
So I want you to see that, right? Because the main thing about that video that they talked about was hunger, right? Hunger. And when you pay attention to what is happening right now with this manufactured crisis or the manufactured war, right? And them talking about a possible hunger issue coming up or a food crisis, right? Understand, when food is on the line and people are hungry and they can't eat, Please understand, when things like the grid go down and people start panicking and they got to feed them damn kids and they don't know how to forage and whatnot. I was just talking to a good brother today, and he's into survival training, and I'm going to have him on the show very, very soon. He was like, yo, what the hell happens when it all falls down and you go into the forest to go and hunt, but there's 40 million people in the state? So how the hell do you think you're gonna go in the forest and how do you think you're gonna hunt anything? And the animals are even more wiser than the humans. The animals are gonna get furthest away from humans as possible. Y'all are all gonna be in the forest hunting one another. It's almost goofy to me. There's so much is going on around the world, and nobody, I don't see the urgency. There's no concerted effort. I don't see a collective effort. If people are getting right, they're doing that shit in silence, and that's cool. That's great. But I don't, everything else is loud. The rumors are loud. All of the complaining is loud. The fuckery is loud. So why is not the collectiveness loud? Why is nobody saying, yo, why don't we all just meet up one day and go ahead and make sure that we right? Let's all meet up and just go and run down on one of these suppliers and whatnot. Or let's go ahead and secure our future. Because I'm telling you this, y'all ain't never been in no situation where you gotta make it through with some hungry ass kids and women a whiz with you who's scared of bugs, scared of the dark, gunshots going off around your children, 40 calibers, 50 calibers, howitzers, AKs, choppers. You got to bust your gun to keep them safe. They not used to hearing banana clips going off around them. This is not a reality. This is not a video game. This is not some shit on Amazon. The first thing that's going to pop off is niggas is going to get hungry. So, two things that I would say. Motherfuckers should not be rebel rousing, trying to invoke no type of smoke, because I don't think people are prepared for that. They should be careful with the cans that they kicking over. Stop the rebel rousing, because you niggas are not built for it. All of that, yeah, I just want this shit to fall. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because when it does fall, and it will fall eventually. How long is the shit gonna be down before your ass is up? That's the magic question. And you could prepare yourself now to be up when it falls. But I would tell you that you should get on it immediately. Stop, don't lollygag with it. Okay. And if it's unavoidable, because if the nigga, let's just use a scenario. If the boy Cole, J. Cole, Dean Cole, what was his name, who ran through the White House Correspondents' Dinner, if he made it through and was able to stain the president right there, bomb headshots, two things could have took place immediately after that. Martial law, state of emergency, the whole Constitution is suspended, or JD Vance becomes president. Either one of those scenarios, you're looking at a potential purge. Facts. And I'm not gonna, you know what I'm talking about? Allegedly. Let's for the algorithm. Allegedly. You're looking at a potential purgington. Allegedly. The day that they declare what you call a martial law, or the day that they declare some emergency, nigga, that's when shit is really gonna get dark up in this bitch. And you got that's when Joe Rogan and them start showing their fangs. That's when the podcast the Nelk Boys. That's when Nick Fuentes pops out with the Purge mask on. That's when Candace pops out looking like Tyrone Biggums with the ski hat on, and she says, "Let's fucking hunt." That's when Erica Kirk pops back up out the cut looking like Are you ready for that? Are you prepared for that? Go back and watch Purge, nigga. Go back and watch Purge. She was in that. She was knocking on doors. America Kirk gonna pop out on you niggas. Somebody said the V people, oh my goodness, on everything. Oh God, on Jesus and the niggas. I literally was gonna make the thumbnail this picture right here, because niggas was like Rhythm Nation. I was like, no, nigga, V. Nigga, that's V. That she, look at her face with the blue eyes. Y'all didn't see V. Y'all give it. Look, y'all talking about, oh, they live. What, nigga? They live. V, nigga. What are you talking about? They live. V, nigga. You don't know about V. Man, V had us in the house like when Michael Jackson Thriller came out. What? Everybody was in the house watching that. V was lit. The lady in V kind of looked like America Kirk. She peeled her face and his green lizard underneath her. That was V with the alien face, with the lizard face. Nigga, that's not Rhythm Nation. They was like, that's Dark MAGA. She got the all black on. That's Dark MAGA. But that's V. Yeah, not for Vendetta either. No, V for villain, nigga. Yeah. Yeah. V, nigga. That's what you're looking at. Talk about, God damn it. But yes, if anything happens to Donald J, as crazy as homie is, as deranged and as crazy as he is, right? He's still somewhat of a stopper. He's still somewhat of a stopper to do what? Because if something goes wrong with him, yeah, it's all going downhill. Because the next one that's in the lineup, the assassin, yeah, something wrong with him. Believe me when I tell you.
50% of Americans are now antiseptic.
That's right. And now the fake Semites are saying
It's not their fault.
Of course.
Chloe and Michael, good morning. We're here with Rabbi Foreskins, who has an interesting method for circumcision.
It's just Mets eats a beeper. Stop noticing.
That's basically where they take a and suck on its
Talmud says it's chill, though.
Wow, thanks, Ching Chong. You heard that, folks? Don't go looking up that unless you're ready to learn how it transmits HIV. That would be so antiseptic.
But we go live to Tom, where our favorite pizza baking competition takes place in the Goy Center. Tom, take it away.
That's right, John. We're here at the Pizza Cost. What's it take to win this?
We need to bake 271,000 to win.
I thought it was 6 million.
Nah, that would be impossible.
How are you enjoying the Pizza Cost? Out of the 109 countries out here, Germany's the one struggling the hardest. They don't even have a chimney.
That sounds a bit antiseptic.
Hope that doesn't get us canceled.
Well, Producer Berg does love his pizza and grape soda.
Shut it down! Fine, over 80% of the Epstein list was and 0% of the victims were, but that doesn't mean we aren't victims. My grandparents were in the Pizza Cost.
Jeez, Producer Berg, chill.
He's so cute when he shuts it down. Anyway.
Did you see that fat congressman tampering with the votes?
Yep, show the normies.
So here's what a crime on tape looks like.
But he's chosen.
So noticing is antiseptic.
Shouldn't he, be in jail? Yeah.
Absolutely. Throw him in jail. Seriously. Dan, break it down for us.
Somebody, needs to stop this guy. I mean, he's just, to me, I feel like he's a terrorist. I think he should be hanged for treason.
Shut it the heck down, Dan. You think you can just waltz your way into Congress because of your big muscles and antiseptic rhetoric? We'll genocide you like the Armenian you are.
Just because you stupid goyim notice 6 companies run 90% of the media doesn't mean that we won't censor you. Now, back to the goy slop, or you're fired.
Wow. Great point, Shapiro-Stein. We wouldn't want to notice that, right? I'm just here for the bread and circuses before my sports ball game tonight. We're like cattle.
How does it feel that your government is funding a genocide?
Good. I just got my seed oil sundae for free.
How'd you do that?
I got my 5th booster.
How do you feel about the event?
It's certainly not 6 million. And they were delousing chambers.
Really?
And mostly from typhus.
He was talking about the pizzas, right?
I think. Breaking news, we're bombing the shit out of Lebanon. Ching Chong joins us live from the action. We're here in Lebanon, where Israel's Operation Eternal Darkness has set out to absolutely wreck the Sand People. We've caused over 2,400 casualties since the beginning of March, all funded by our Epstein-controlled government.
What happened here? Here in central Beirut, they just came over our town and started bombing us. 1 in 5 Lebanese have been displaced, all because you goy cattle are scared to notice. Like, dude, this is not chill.
That's base Ching Chong.
But this is all we get when we let that fat Randy win.
Yeah, I got my vote on that Bulgarian dude. Let's hear what Dan has to say about all this.
The first thing that I would like to do is enact laws to punish people that put foreign nations before America. I think that's treason, and I think they should be hung for it.
Shut it down, Dan. We know you're lustful past Mr. Party Boy, thinking you're all cool because you have women and private jets like us. Daisy, distract them with your lustful milkers.
Exactly, Producer Berg. They never give us credit for owning their social media platforms and giving them only freaks.
Good points, Daisy.
It's not easy being chosen. Dude, she's not giving it up, bro. They're committing war crimes, all while they're blaming terrorists, saying they're embedded underneath residential buildings. Like, nah, fam. Y'all are sending my tax dollars to bomb the innocent.
That's actually a valid point.
Based, I might add.
Straight up. But let's go to the investigation team to learn more about what's been going on.
So when you follow the money, everything connects back to the chosen people.
See how people say AI and AI this and AI that. This is how you utilize the AI to actually have a faceless channel, say what you want to say, you know, non-censored. This, of course, takes it a little further, but this is like Family Guy on a political side. You know, if people could sit through Family Guy, if you could sit through anything Robot Chicken was throwing at you, if you could sit through anything, right, then your ass should not be squirming up, and you should not be in your feelings, and you should not have a problem with how these people are expressing themselves, because at the end of the day, this is the freedom of speech, correct? All right. So once again, this is not AI slop. This is an accurate way to create salacious shock jock value content at the end of the day, right? Because we've been lied to so much and so much propaganda, sometimes you're just gonna have to cut with a machete.
Nomadic wanderers practicing usury, financial domination, and Kabbalistic black magic. To put simply, it's the synagogue of Satan themselves.
Wow, that seems to check out. Even Orthodox Jews are starting to notice.
Well, yeah, they're appropriating Israel through trauma-based mind control.
Satan's little people. Let's hear more about Lebanon. Ching Chong.
The initial April 8th assault involved 50 fighter jets and 160 munitions, attacking over 100 sites simultaneously. That's over 300 people dead in a single day, all for our greatest ally to usher in revelation.
Shut it down, Ching Chong. There were Hezbollah terrorists in there. Get your butt back to America or you'll end up like Jackie. Run the freaking commercials.
You need to turn that garbage off.
But Mom, they really do control our government.
Millions of Americans are now noticing. And the anti-Septicism is spreading across the country.
Who did you send $100 to?
To Jake GTV. He had his channel demonetized.
He's antiseptic.
Honey, so am I.
If you or a loved one is questioning the official narrative, it's not too late to get help.
Isn't Pfizer owned by a dual citizen from Israel?
Whoa.
Ask your doctor if antisepticants are right for you.
You know, honey, I think Israel is our greatest ally.
That's how you know it's working.
Get them vaccinated before Agenda 2030.
Wow, don't they own all the pharmaceutical companies?
Yeah, but careful, or Producerberg's going to force you to vaccinate
I'll just
them.
use a fake QR code.
Let's go back to Ching Chong to see what the fake Semites are up to in Lebanon.
So here goes Satan's chosen people smashing a statue here in Lebanon. Makes sense that their Talmud says Jesus is burning in excrement and feces. Talk about Talmudic tribesmen, am I right?
That legitimately pisses me off. Absolute blasphemy. What do you think about that?
We should still support them.
So you're retarded. Got it.
It's 4D chess, bud.
Let's hear more from Dan Bilzerian.
They got kicked out of 109 countries, but they got expelled 1,030 times, which means they got accepted back in the country, kicked out again, accepted back in, kicked the fuck out again.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, this is not
totally opposite of the blacks. Everybody wants the blacks. They're taking them in slave labor.
Well, yeah, speaking of which, I mean, I'm sure you guys know who's behind that.
Yeah.
Just because we did the whole slave trade thing and then made it seem like a white people problem through media and education doesn't mean you should kick us out. Shut it down.
Isn't DNA testing illegal over there?
Yeah, yeah. They're not even Semites.
Anyways, let's hear from Theo on the Rogenstein Show.
They haven't been helping anybody forever. They're letting fucking politicians slurp on kids. All of our fucking money goes to Israel and they're using it to fucking genocide people. It's like, it's a time where it's like Satan is amongst us and our religious leaders are fucking talking about bullshit at the poll. It's just like, what is going, I don't know, man.
We got to get you off those antidepressants, son. You're losing your fucking marbles.
Good job, Joe. Let's get him vaccinated. He needs his antiseptics.
That's so true, Daisy.
Joe knows what it's like to be chosen. His wife is one of us.
I just joined your Only Freaks. Consider me your greatest ally.
Good goyim. Let's hear how we can censor them on social media.
I can't wait.
Over the course of 2024, we tripled the amount of accounts that we were banning for hateful activity.
Oh, that's why we got canceled. The frickin' Jews.
That's right.
Yeah. So much for them not censoring our speech.
That's antiseptic. Let's hear what the ADL is doing.
The ADL, our Center for Technology and Society, works actively with all the kind of companies of Silicon Valley, from Apple to Zoom, if you will, from Amazon to Microsoft to Meta, and indeed to Twitter.
What a thing to say.
But total coincidence. They don't run the media.
So what's up with that shooting that happened last week?
Let's go to the Jake GTV investigation team to learn more.
So he was being shown magic by the Jewish hypnotist, and then this one dude took shots and missed. Yeah. But this clip right here is just a coincidence. Play it.
This speech tonight will be classic Donald J. Trump. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room. So everyone should tune in. It's going to be really great.
Total coincidence. Anyways, here's the shooter wearing an IDF t-shirt. Yeah. But then again, our government does protect pedos. Yeah. So the manifesto was pretty based.
Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
You think he was referring to you?
Excuse me. I'm not a pedophile. You read that crap from some sick person. I'm not any of those things.
Mr. President,
and I
these
was
are
never,
the gunman's words.
Excuse me. You shouldn't be reading that on 60 Minutes. You're a disgrace.
He's always such a victim.
How about arresting a single person in the
Right.
Epstein files for once?
Right. Let's hear what Shapiro-Stein has to say.
Here we go again.
The number one trend on X, the minute this happened, was staged. Okay, there's no evidence whatsoever this was staged. There's no evidence Butler was staged. There's no evidence Charlie Kirk's murder was staged or manipulated by the widow or any of that crap. Conspiratorial worldviews are disgusting.
Conspiracy theorists will believe anything these days.
Exactly. Good thing we have Shapiro-Stein to shut it all down. Speaking of Erica, here she goes again for Worst Actor of the Year.
I just want to go find
Shut it the heck down! I had YouTube delete your antiseptic Erica Kirkberg video for harassment, and I'm telling the ADL and FBI to shut this one down too. You're all fired!
Are we fully demonetized?
Yeah, I guess we went too hard.
Jake just told us to ask you to subscribe at jakegtv.com.
That would help. Let's ask the FBI.
Why did you demonetize Jake GTV on YouTube and delete our TikTok and shadow ban our Twitter?
Just let us do our genocide in peace, Goyam.
Well, there you have it, folks. Noticing is antiseptic.
Based. That's based. Dennis, take it away. Thanks, guys. We're going broke doing this, so please donate. Anyways, if you're still not following Jake GTV, you're an absolutely retarded loser.
Have you looked into who owned all the slave ships?
Ask your doctor if antisepticants are right for you.
Congratulations, you made it to the end. That's what I call base.
Hater vocabulary is very important when it comes to moving, grooving, vibing, sliding. Having an elite hater vocabulary is very important when it comes to moving, grooving, vibing, sliding on mental real estate in the ops mind. Now, today we're going to go over some different words that you can use in your everyday vocab. Vociferous, up first. Now, when you type this on Apple, it's going to redline it because they're trying to dumb us down. They don't like when we use big words, but it means extremely wicked, atrocious, or infamous. And when you drop shit like this, people can feel like, what? Exactly. Dickhead, study up, bitch. That's how we have iniquitous. Once again, they will most likely redline you to try to make you feel like an idiot. You're not. It's a real word. Elites, I might add. Extremely immoral, wicked, or profoundly unfair. Or also grossly unjust and sinful. Like, our son is moving iniquitous. Or the best thing is to combine these words with another insult. Guy's an iniquitous fucking dickhead. Now, they gonna hear dickhead, but they gonna iniquitous. Hold on, what was that? You don't know. It's not always about using big words though. Sometimes it's about using words that you know will spark a little bit of hate and a little bit of animosity. So when you drop that goyim, especially around the Zionists, whoa. How the fuck? How you figure out that one? No more cattle over this way, dickhead. You understand? Now, they wanted to keep this motherfucker secret, but 00 Epstein let it be known in his emails, this is how they talk about us. And so when you try to tell and insult somebody and be like, that's just a regular motherfucker, he's not one of the chosen people, yeah, you little goyim, go the fuck over there. Scurry along, little pussy. Festifilian is the type of word that can make a motherfucker stop in their tracks. So you're like, what? Excuse me? Yeah, no, excuse me, you acting real Festifilian right now, bitch. Kind of like BB the fucking bomber, I might add. Now, devilish, cynical, cunning character, tempting or malicious evil. You know what I'm saying? Like, god damn. They cooked up back in the day. Again, you will be redlined, but no words. Elite word. Dweeb is something that should be brought back like cook crack in the 80s. You understand what I'm saying? Because it just hit a little bit different. Could you imagine me call a dweeb? Are you hear that shit? You was like, oh, what the fuck? Like, that's almost as bad as being called weird, where it's just like, hold on. It's something like a little bit different and insulting that just hit and sting. I'm already hearing the fairies being used more and more. I'll thank myself for that one, I might add. But again, as you see, extremely wicked, villainous, immoral, criminal. You stay on that track. Dropping a malfeasant here or there. Person engaged in wrongful, illegal, or harmful acts. Or they're moving in malfeasance. That motherfucker just spice it up real quick. Just pop. Gonna change all the words. It's like, man, iniquitous, nefarious, Mephistophelian, vociferous. You drop them bitches and then you dickhead, dweeb, lame, weird, bitch, pussy, suck my dick. Suck my dick. That may be New York only. Because I've realized you say suck my dick to other people around and they'll kill you. Margin of error, you guys to death. It's crazy because you say suck my dick, but at the same time, New York, you always say pause. But niggas don't say pause when they say suck my dick because it's like a different type of thing. I don't know how to explain that. Thanks for attending another class at Haiti University. Subscribe to my YouTube.
Yes. It's my guy. All right, let's go into let's get into the Erica shit real quick,
Every
man.
day people say I didn't mourn my husband.
Let's get the Erica thing going. Let's go.
It's my fault I didn't care.
People say I didn't mourn my husband enough. Oh, it's my fault I didn't care? What am I supposed to do? Take time off? Didn't you hear that the merch was flying off the shelves? Racist comedians doing whiteface when I haven't even done blackface since I misunderstood the theme for my sorority's blackout party. And Candace Owens accusing me of killing my husband when we have way more important issues in this country, like finishing the ballroom. We're worried about immigrants and ICE killing people when Jimmy Kimmel has hurt my feelings on multiple occasions.
Breaking news. Every morning I wake up to a new headline lying about me. I have comedians dressing up in whiteface. I have people saying I'm not fit to be CEO. And I have Candace Owens claiming I murdered my husband. Erica, please. Erica, please. Erica! Not today. Not today, not now, not no time soon. Erica, please. Erica, go back into hiding, girl. Please, for the love of God, go back into hiding. I'm not sure who the hell you thought that you was finna convince with this video, but this was some bullshit, bitch.
Because the way you've been caught up in your own shit that you yourself have put out there is insane to me. Candace Owens got her foot on your neck for a reason because she's caught you in several lies. And quite frankly, none of us give a fuck enough to even do the research. But you know what? She cares. She cares about your husband. And if you are in fact innocent, why not just tell the truth? Why not just tell the bee's knees? Why not just allow her to do her investigation with the knowing that it's not going to lead anywhere because you didn't do it? You had nothing to do with it. You see, that's how somebody moves when they know for a fact that they're innocent. They allowed the investigation to presume because I didn't do it. And you're going to get to the other side of this and realize that I didn't do it. It had nothing to do with me. I had nothing to do with it. Now, moving forward, I don't know why you expect sympathy from the entire United States of America. Not only have you been involved in several child trafficking and human trafficking scandals, that of which have been buried and had to be redug up. Listen, this is what the Romanians told me. And baby, they said, don't you bring your ass around these motherfucking parts again, because I promise you we're going to scalp the shit out you. But also several people here that have said that you've been involved in some crazy shit. But for me, what really took the cake was the whole, we need to protect men. As if that shit wasn't insensitive during a time where women are quite literally facing one history's worst femicide, human trafficking, the most vicious attacks against women that we've ever seen, on top of a genocide, while having the accusations of being a human trafficker looming in your past. And then just to add insult to injury, just make it a little bit more spicy, you threw in especially white men at a time where the country was already divided and was hanging on by a thread of how we could stay united instead of being divided by race in a ways worse than we have ever seen in the past. You decided to throw that out there. So I'm not sure what sympathy you're looking for, girl, but it's giving your tea is coming up and it's scolding and you don't like it. You're getting bullied back in the same way that you are throwing out innuendos and throwing out little things to try and get people upset. Not to mention the things that you yourself have said out of your mouth before. Erica, please. Erica, take you and them bright Chucky ass eyes of yours and get the fuck on, okay? Because we don't give a shit. We really don't give a fuck. I mean, it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, gagged me. But also, like, we don't give a shit. We see right through it. We don't give a fuck. Erica, there are more pressing issues going on right now, okay? I've already dealt with enough. There's a lot going on right now. The Palestinians are still being kicked out of their homes in the West Bank despite the ICJ's decision, okay? 9 Lebanese died this morning. Rest in peace to the big ones. That don't even include the other 3 service members that was quite literally just doing their humanitarian work. The funeral just happened today. I'm down bad right now about that, sister, okay? They said that crude oil prices is at it's somewhere between 114, 126. Shit ain't gonna get better price wise globally. It's gonna get worse because our country won't stop. They quite literally won't stop, despite them knowing that the chances of them making it out of this situation is slim to none. Pete Hegseth is still lying. And I'm irritated. I had to wake up to this bullshit, to your big ass eyes. Your big ass icicle looking eyes sitting on our fucking screen talking about, I don't understand why people bullying me. Girl, if you don't get the fuck up off my screen with this foolishness, if you don't go back to, and then, bitch, what about that cry-by you just did the other day? At that fake ass false flag operation that happened at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. What about that? You are the only person I know that'll literally be crying hard as shit and not a single tear is leaving your eye. Tissue dry. I was about to say something inappropriate. Tissue bone dry. Only person I know that be wheezing and heezing and hooting and hollering. Not a single tear has left your eye. Girl, if you don't get the fuck up off this internet playing with us, we don't care. Candace, please come collect your light work because we're over it. Like, come get this girl.
Yeah, clean ass up. So called the light work. Let's see. A little more, Erica. Fuck it.
I wake up to a new headline lying about me. I have comedians dressing up in whiteface. I have people saying I'm not fit to be CEO. And I have Candace Owens claiming I murdered my husband. And the list goes on and on and on. The
Shit. Get me the fuck out of here, bro. I got too much money on the line.
Affected widow.
Yeah, I know she a Scorpio, right?
Strays.
Yeah, I know she a Scorpio. That's how us Scorpios know that she's crazy as batshit because she's a Scorpio. You know what I mean? I know when I'm looking at my fellow Scorpio.
Oh shit. Get me the fuck out of here, bro. I got too much money on the line to be catching strays.
What's good, lover boy? Acting surprised at that shooting? Exhausting. People calling my grief theater. It's called branding, okay? I'm just a helpless, submissive trad wife who happens to control a multi-million-dollar political slush fund. No big deal, right? And these affair rumors about us? Free PR, baby. I love the money, but I need a break. Look, with the shooting, I really didn't know what was going on. Times are tough for me too, okay? Suddenly, I'm the fall guy for Hungary and the Iran talks. I'm just trying to lay low so Phil and I can map out my 2028 ascension. But hey, I have something to show you. Come with me. I can show you the world, baby. You know, he plans on renaming it to the Statue of Trump.
Our body, our choice. Our body, our choice. Our body, our body, our choice. Our body, our body.
Oh my God! My eyes, it burns! Is that dog water? What the fuck, nerds? Did you just punch a bird? Look, the Strait of Hormuz. It should be open by now! This is exactly what I needed. I'm pregnant. Oh, fantastic. Hey, I saved the best view for last. Isn't it gorgeous? Hey, so what were you saying about being pregnant? Guess I flew too high. Whoops!
dressed up like this, record a video, and then press send. One has to wonder, did Charlie Kirk's creative team get eliminated with him as well?
The shooter was a teacher. You have these people who are supposed to be teaching our children.
Where the fuck is your kids at? Got me wondering now. You so busy trying to run Turning Point USA. This shit is dead. It is over. It is cooked. Just like there's no soul in his eyes, there's no soul in this project or Turning Point USA any longer. It died with Charlie. Sorry to tell you.
While we may have big problems with illegal immigration in this country, I have to tell you, we have an even bigger problem when it comes to the systemic indoctrination and radicalization of our own citizens. This is what got my husband killed.
No, it's not. Let me tell you something. Call is coming from inside the house. You understand that? You even got the killer eyes. You know what I'm saying? March Rare, you guessed it. Death. You know who did that? Our greatest liability. Because he decided he didn't want to take their money anymore. And he was like, they tweaking. They talking about going to war with Iran. American soldiers were going to die. I'm America first. You let him know. Shabbat Shalom. He had to be Israel first. He wasn't rocking with that. And so what did BB the Bomber do? In Mossad, they orchestrated the hits. And next thing you know, his mic right here blew the fuck up. And now y'all blaming some motherfucker named Tyler Robinson that somehow one shot, one kill, elite, move, groove, vibe, slide right off the top of the roof. And then he decided he was going to put the gun back together again and then just set it up nicely in the woods because he didn't want to piss off his old man. And that's, I quote from his text.
That is what Jimmy Kimmel did to the First Lady. He said that she had the glow of an expected widow. The glow of an expected widow.
Does it not occur to you that you look batshit fucking crazy? That's what I don't understand. Like, there's no team anymore or something? Like, this is a pre-recorded video. Y'all watch this back. Your team must hate you because, I mean, like, you look fucking insane.
Have comedians dressing up in whiteface.
Yeah, clearly. Shout out to Drewski's makeup artist. I mean, somehow she even predicted the fucking future. It's like you saw it and was like, how can I make myself look more like Drewski's whiteface?
I have people saying I'm not fit to be CEO.
That's because you're not. That's what I'm saying. You don't have enough honest people in your circle. See, me as a hater, I'm a hater, not a liar. You suck at this. You know what I mean? Like, we see you reading at the prompt, but at the same time, when you look away from the prompt, your eyes look fucking soulless. You're not good at this. This was Charlie's thing, and that's why he used to be telling you, man, stay in the fucking kitchen and watch the kids. Because now we see you, and it's like, whoa, hide her. I understand.
Candace Owens claiming I murdered my husband.
That's just because she seemed to care more than you did. But, you know, have fun with your WWE entrances.
Can't we at iHip News have crazy camera angles? Why? Why can't we? Why can't we act fucking unhinged? I want to be unhinged for America. I want to be crazy for America. I want to wake up this morning for her. America's pronouns. She, her. All right, that's all we have. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you pre-order my book, which I would like to dedicate to one Erica Kirk, not today fascist. And Erica, the person that I'm talking about today, fascist, is you. You are the racist fascist about whom I am talking to. The work that your husband's company and that you are doing to America's youth to make them racist, narrow-minded, hateful, and batshit crazy is an absolute disgrace. And thank you for the outfit, #inspo.
Style with other countries is brings a lot.
So yeah, the America Kirk show is underway. I've said it before and I'll keep saying it. She is the prototype of the Columbia that you see in the Manifest Destiny. The symbol of Columbia, they are making that America Kirk. As you can see with the way I think Trump positioned her to help the Republican Party in the midterms, they're putting her in a position that she does not necessarily ever deserve. She has no qualifications to be a part of, But as you can see, she is still a part of the news cycle when she should not be a part of the news cycle. She should not even be spoken of. But as you can see, she is being inserted into the news cycle now, even though we laughed at her with the Drewski skit, it made her a household name. Even though they're clowning her and they're talking about her, we live in the attention economy. We live in an economy where OnlyFans stars are in quote unquote movies and TV shows. You can't, you know what I mean? It's a different day and time. We don't live in the past. We live in a new day and time. There's no such thing as bad publicity. Even if people hate you, there's still ways for monetization, and it still equals to be, you know, you have famous and then you have infamous. They are crashing out, of course. The representation of white women is Erica Kirk. I'm sorry to say, even with the white women that are trying to clown her and whatnot, that is your poster child of the blonde hair, blue eye, quote unquote, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, and what that is her, that she fits the mold. Deranged, soulless, you know, non-authentic, you know, non-authentic. That is exactly, and they're embarrassed that she's showing so many quote unquote chinks in the armor. But yeah, that's your representative. I don't see anything different in America Kirk than I do with any Karen that's out there. Okay. But yeah, let's talk more about Is It Real, her handler. Okay, let's talk more about her handlers, because these are the sick motherfuckers that have put her out there and have, you know, like they said, she's an MK Ultra sex puppet or sex kitten. She was you know, they probably, you can imagine the things that were done to America Kirk with both of her parents being CIA, in a way that the CIA gives their children up to this quote unquote the beast, or what you would call Baal, right? The way that they feed their children to the machine or to the beast or to the golem and whatnot. Hollywood parents, CIA parents, you know, industry parents mostly, but definitely those high-ranking officials. Look at all of their children. Look at the dysfunction in all of those households and whatnot. That comes from the fact that the parents sacrifice the children and expose them to all type of iniquities. And they give their children up as willing sacrifices. So that woman is no different. Okay, she's a Cabbage Patch Kid.
Own cyber surveillance tools and a system, all battle tested in the
So this video talks about how Israel is deepening their ties with other rogue nations. Because what? Because those other rogue nations sat back and they saw the technology being used on Gaza and on Lebanon and on all of the places that they strike. They saw the assassinations. They saw the precision bombings. They saw everything, and they're interested in the technology, because this whole thing is about selling weapons. It's about technology. It is about AI entering into the war space and whatnot. And Is It Real is the quote unquote, they are the ones that is pushing it, and also the Ukrainians. But Is It Real is the one who ushered in a new era of warfare with autonomous warfare, with quote unquote kill chains. They were co-signed by Palantir and Anthropic.
When Israel deepens ties with other countries, it brings along cyber surveillance tools and a system, all battle tested in the occupied Palestinian territories. Argentina under Javier Milei is no different. A man who called himself the most Zionist president in the world. In his third visit to Israel, Milei and Benjamin Netanyahu signed the Isaac Accords, a deal that includes direct flight between Tel Aviv and Buenos Aires, the Israeli investment in Argentina, and cooperation on IA and counterterrorism. Milei also pledged to move the Argentina embassy to occupy Jerusalem. Never mind that this legitimizes territorial occupation, while Argentina is demanding Britain return the Malvinas Islands, or that Israeli company Navitas is preparing to drive for oil in the Malvinas, a direct blow to Argentine sovereignty. Milei has grown so servile to Israeli leadership that he expelled Iranian's ambassador from Buenos Aires and declared the Islamic Revolutionary Guard a terrorist organization. During his visit, he danced at 9th anniversary ceremony alongside Rami Abraham Sarbib, known for posting calls to flatten Gaza and filming himself demolishing Palestinian homes with a bulldozer. Like a personal score gesture, he sung in front of Netanyahu. But the most dangerous part isn't any of that. The real threat is the EYE cooperation deal, which may be a cover for Israeli cyber espionage firms to move into Argentina and surveil its citizens. At a time when criticism of Israel is increasingly being criminalized, Netanyahu's government has already sold phone hacking tools like Pegasus and Paragon to Gulf dictatorships after the Abraham Accords. At the same time, Peter Thiel, founder of Palantir, is currently spending 2 months in Argentina, getting a first-hand look at Milei's libertarian experiment. Palantir has been central to the Israeli military's use of EYE systems like Lavender and Where is Daddy to identify targets in Gaza at record speed and authorize mass bombings. The Argentine president said to lead this experiment is known for one other thing: communicating with his dead dog through a psychic medium, a perfect symbol of an era of turbo-capitalism and far-right.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to premiere a video, a commercial we have prepared for an upcoming event that we have in the beautiful city of Miami. Shout out to the Miami family. All right, let's go.
Money is a major issue. Even Demetrius said, can't take it with you. Money is a major issue. Even Demetrius said, can't take it with 7-2 claws. We got 7-2 nobles who can make with you. Bread in the oven, we can bake it with you. Open.
Shout out to my Miami family. Money is a major issue. We have the 72 claws pulling up on your shores. 72 claws pulling up on your shores. Make room for us. We coming.
Money is a major issue. Even Demetrius said, can't take it with you. Money is a major issue. Even Demetrius said, can't take it with 7-2 claws. We got 7-2 nobles who can make with you. Bread in the oven, we can bake it with you. Open AI made you open your eyes. Now the sunroof, open the skies. All white linen like the Pope in disguise. The motion is live. El Clado's moving on Ocean Drive. We riding horses, 400 Porsches, all black forces. We driving lamb chops from the sandbox of South Beach to the temples in Bangkok. Rubber bands pop. This is the boom bap that made the motherland rock. God, 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 God,
You can scan the QR code in the upper left or the upper right to get your tickets for the claws, the 72 claws. We will be in Miami Memorial Weekend, ladies and gentlemen, for 3 days. Make sure you in the building. Let's effing go.
Money is a major issue. Even Demetrius said, can't take it with you. Money is a major issue. Even Demetrius said, can't take it with 7-2 claws. We got 7-2 nobles who can make with you. Bread in the oven, we can bake it with you. Open AI made you open your eyes. Now the sunroof, open the skies. All white linen like the Pope in disguise. The motion is live.
We're here to make a change. We're here to make a difference. We're here to make a stand.
models moving on Ocean Drive. We riding horses, 400 Porsches, all black forces. We driving lamb chops from the sandbox of South Beach to the temples in Bangkok. Rubber bands pop. This is the boom bap that made the motherland rock.
Tap in, family. Tap in, tap in. May the 22nd to the 24th, the MIAO. We will be in the building. Special guest, Brother Heru Ofari Atta, 72 Claws. Stop playing with us, all right? Later on today, session number 13 for the Imaginarium. All right, I'm gonna throw that up there too. You get your ticket for that.
Imaginarium, the yellow brick roads are unlocking codes, connecting nodes on the Silk Road. El Claudel collecting silk robes. The 44 gods wrote the 48 laws, and now we invoked and invoking the 42 claws. The return of the sunburnt moors, northwest of Maxim Tours. Open claw, open sesame, we open the doors. Now it's tokens galore. Rubber bands on the floor, 100 grand on the left hand of the mall. We in the land of the Moors. We claiming every corridors, from Atlantis to the shores of Florida to the mounds of Mississippi. This is the sound of the inner city, home of the gritty, from the neighborhoods where the clowns was shitty and the crown was on Nipsey. The marathon continues. We won't stop this campaign until we take back all of our towns. All 60 in the meantime. I'm on GitHub, getting to the money, running swiftly. You get me? They tried to say the best nation wasn't your imagination. Fam, are you kidding me? Fam, are you shitting me?
Time in a black robe, preach no help from a rich man's boat. Came from the shack, then sold the street. Now the court smells like billionaire greed. Pinpoint, baby, no lights, no sink. Mama worked, daddy disappeared. Granddad raised him hard and mean, make pain the only thing he feared. He took that hurt and called it law, turned cold lessons into pride, and climbed through doors they opened up and locked them from the other side. Boot stomp, banjo stand, poor boy story, rich man ran. He said no handout, stand alone, then took the jet and called it home. Uncle Tom in a black robe, sailing out the road he rode. Talks like grit, lives like gold. That's currents, cold, cold, cold. Uncle Tom with a lifetime seat, judging folks he used to be. Crow in the sky, shame underneath. That's currents, cold, cold, cold. Bill gave him a ladder up, he called the ladder a stain. Used the key, then cursed the lot, and made the next kid feel the shame. Anita stood and told that room what Clarence made her hear. Cocaine line, dirty talk, they buried her truth in his tears. Strong woman spoke, he played a tag. Old man folded, gave him back. Black broke clean, story spun. Victor Mac, lifetime run. First wife gone, young son bruised. New wife came wrapped in flags. Jenny sent that Jan, 6'5", then hid her hands behind the man. Crow pay school, crowbar walls, mama's house, yacht day calls, private flights, luxury nights, no paperwork inside. He hates loud women when they speak, but loves rich men when they pay. He hates help when black folks need it, but smiles when Crow looks his way. He left the people who raised him, then judged the ones who stayed. Made Uncle Tom sound current with a robo wife and a pay parade.
Cooked them. cooked them. That's your man right there, Mr. Clarence, Uncle Tom. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your attention. We are going to sign off. We have a class to go to, session number 13, Imaginarium. Shout out to everybody pulling up and whatnot. You know, I'm talking about one more commercial before we get out of here. Let's go.
Generator. One mind builds whole worlds. Operator. You don't enter worlds. You design them. Destroyer.
They ain't just steal stories. They lock the bloodline. Operator. Step through it. Rewrite the world they gave you. Destroy the illusion. Take your mind back.
Blueprints in a planetarium. Imaginarium. Blueprints in a planetarium.
All right. You can hit that QR code right above the live sign. Get your tickets for the Imaginarium session tonight. It is going to be explosive. We are literally about to make a whole movie in the Imaginarium. Shout out to everybody that's been tapped in for this 90-day workshop. I told you, ninjas. You know what I'm talking about? I told you. Y'all gonna see the full result when it goes to theaters. We're working on something real big. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you, and we will see you very, very soon. Peace, love, and light.
Can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sink 3-pointers, money shots, all net, all vets. Bumps we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept a storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting all magnetic fields. And interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube. And fade to black, yeah, the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual Clarence 13X, a worthy guest. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree. In the wilderness of North Amex, and we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson.
The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums, like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers, fabric softener. Jive turkeys, popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch stores type. For that soft right, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like porch lights. The meek shall inherit the earth, oh yeah, that's scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls, niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft, yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft, and then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descended of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom. Bless.
Crumb TV.